I'm Tulsa World Meteorologist Kirsten Lang. All right, let's talk about that updated threat for severe weather for us here across eastern Oklahoma. The Storm Prediction Center has now put us under a moderate risk, what you see in red there. And if you take note at the key on that map, a moderate risk is just one level below their highest risk or risk factor for potentially seeing severe storms. So in a nutshell, they're not messing around. They're expecting to see severe weather outbreak in parts of central and eastern Oklahoma today. That does include Tulsa. That does include along the I-44 corridor, south towards that I-40 corridor, and then towards Oklahoma City. With that, the modes of severe weather that are possible are basically the big three, right? You've got the wind damage that's a possibility, with some of those winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. You have the large hail that's a possibility. We're looking at possibly tennis ball to even baseball-sized hail. That's big, right? And then also tornadoes. You can't rule those out. That is a possibility with these storms as they develop as well. So I want to walk you through a future cast so that you get a better idea of the timing on this. It's going to be an afternoon and evening thing. Now, one thing that we've been watching, and that we'll continue watching here, is the cloud coverage. There's been a lot of cloud coverage across the area, mid-level cloud coverage, and what that does is kind of suppress that daytime heat. You're not getting the sun as much that's coming out, and you need that in some regard to help stir up these storms and destabilize things in the environment or in the atmosphere. And so with that cloud coverage, it's really something to note because it could offset the start time a little bit, maybe keep it a little bit later than it would normally be. So watching the cloud coverage, okay, so that means that these storms, maybe instead of sparking up around 3 to 4, they may be sparking up a little bit later, call it 6, 7, 8. All right, so on this future cast, this at 5 o'clock has a couple of these showers and storms pop up. Now, also central Oklahoma is getting a few breaks in the clouds, so they may actually start to see a few more pop up earlier than that, close to 6 o'clock. All right, then you start getting into that 6:30, 7 o'clock time frame. Things start ramping up a little bit more. All of these models, you have to keep in mind, they're all kind of putting out a little bit different thing, but the one thing that has remained consistent and the one that this is showing is this line kind of starts developing 7, 8 o'clock that rolls through from central to eastern Oklahoma. So here we go, kind of rolls on through then 7, 8 o'clock through the Tulsa area into even farther east towards that state line with Arkansas and southwestern Missouri. And then maybe a little wraparound, some moisture that comes back around from that as well. So really the key factors I want you to take away from this is that we are expecting severe weather. I definitely think it's going to be popping up across the state. Where you can pinpoint exactly, maybe not super accurate, but I do know that we will be seeing it around central and eastern Oklahoma. So if you live in this area, you have to be aware throughout the day today that you could be seeing severe storms. Gusty winds, 60 miles per hour or more. Big hail, possible. Tornadoes, also possible. So all three things, please keep that in mind. Please have a plan in place. Be prepared for those things. You do not want to get caught off guard with really big hail or tornadoes. Those are not things you want to get caught off guard with. So I would say if you have any plans later on this afternoon and evening, keep that in mind. If they're outdoors, consider bringing them indoors because you don't want to be outside when these storms roll through. And please be safe as we head through the evening.